Hello and welcome to Optimal You, your nutrition guide. So today, we're going to dive into a tiny little seed with a massive impact, one that might have fallen off your radar, flaxseed. You know how it is, we've all seen those superfood trends come and go, right? One minute it's all about kale, the next it's acai bowls. And as this great quote from the Cleveland Clinic says, these fads can be super fleeting. But it makes you wonder, what about the superfoods that have been around for like centuries? Long before they were trending on Instagram. What about the ones that have a seriously proven track record? All right, so here's what we've got on tap. We'll explore why flaxseed is a forgotten superfood, and we'll break down the power trio that makes it work. Then we'll look at how it gives a boost to everybody's health and get into some really interesting targeted support for men and women. After that, we'll get practical with a playbook on how to actually use it, and we'll wrap up with the risks and some final thoughts. Okay, so let's get right into it. What's actually inside this tiny seed that makes it so potent? Well, the magic of flaxseed really comes down to what I like to call a power trio, 3 core components. And what's so fascinating here is how these 3 elements work together. It's a real team effort. First up, you've got ALA. That's a plant-based omega-3 fatty acid, which is just fantastic for your heart. Then you have lignans. Now, these are super interesting. They're a type of phytoestrogen, which basically just means they're plant compounds that can kind of act like estrogen in the body. And trust me, we'll get into why that's so important a little later. They're also powerful antioxidants. And last but not least, you have fiber, both soluble and insoluble, making it an absolute powerhouse for your gut. And to really drive home that point about lignans, get this. Flaxseed has anywhere from 75 to 800 times more of these antioxidant compounds than most other plant foods. I mean, just think about that for a second. That is an absolutely incredible concentration of cell-protecting power packed into one tiny seed. So, okay, that's the science, but how does this power trio actually translate into real-world benefits for us? Well, it turns out these components give an incredible boost to pretty much everybody, especially when we're talking about heart and metabolic health. And the research here is crystal clear. We're talking about daily flaxseed consumption making a real dent in LDL, the bad cholesterol that can cause plaque buildup. Plus, it has this remarkable effect on blood pressure. Some studies have seen a drop of up to 15 points in systolic blood pressure for people with hypertension. That's not just a small change, that's a really significant improvement. And it's not just about your heart. Flaxseed is also a powerful tool for managing blood sugar. Remember that soluble fiber we talked about? Well, it creates this sort of gel in your gut. Think of it like a traffic controller, slowing down how quickly sugar gets absorbed. This helps you avoid those nasty energy spikes and crashes, which is obviously a huge help for anyone dealing with prediabetes or type 2 diabetes. All right, but here's where things get even more interesting. The benefits actually become super specific when we start looking at men's and women's health separately. Because it turns out, these powerful little seeds don't benefit everyone in exactly the same way. Those unique compounds, especially the lignans we keep mentioning, seem to offer some really targeted support that's different for men and women. And this is really the crucial takeaway. We see these distinct, powerful benefits for both sexes. For men, research suggests that the combo of ALA and lignans could have a protective effect when it comes to prostate cancer. And for women, well, the evidence is pretty compelling. Lignans are linked to a lower risk of breast cancer, particularly postmenopause. And get this, they can also offer major relief from menopausal symptoms. One study found that just 2 tablespoons of ground flax a day cut hot flashes in half and made them 57% less intense. Wow. Okay, so I bet you're thinking, all right, I'm sold. How do I actually start using this stuff? Well, let's get into your flaxseed playbook, a simple guide to putting it to work. So, if you want the full benefit of that power trio, the ALA, the lignans, and the fiber, you've got to go with ground flaxseed. It's really your best bet. Here's why. Your body just can't break down the tough shell on the whole seeds, so all those amazing nutrients just pass right through. And the oil? Sure, it's packed with ALA, but you're missing out on all that incredible fiber and those powerful lignans. So ground is the way to go. So what's the magic number? Well, most experts say 1 to 2 tablespoons of ground flaxseed a day is the sweet spot for getting all those benefits. My advice, start small. Maybe begin with just a teaspoon and work your way up from there. It just gives your digestive system a chance to get used to all that new fiber. And check this out. Here's a super practical kitchen hack for you. You can make what's called a flax egg, which is an amazing vegan egg substitute for baking. It's so easy. You just mix 1 tablespoon of ground flax with 3 tablespoons of water, let it sit for about 5 minutes, and boom, it turns into this gel that works perfectly in muffins, breads, you name it. It's such a great way to sneak in more nutrients and cut down on cholesterol. Okay, so flaxseed is obviously amazing for most of us. But before you go sprinkling it on absolutely everything, there are a few important things to keep in mind. Let's talk risks and final thoughts. So because flaxseed can have an effect on hormones and might interact with certain medications like blood thinners, it is absolutely crucial that you talk to your doctor if any of these situations apply to you. Seriously, as with any big change to your diet or supplement routine, having that conversation with a healthcare professional first is always the smartest move. So, as we wrap this up, it really makes you think, doesn't it? In a world that's constantly chasing the next big food trend, what if the most powerful health tools aren't new at all? What if they're the timeless, proven champions that have been right in front of us the whole time, like flaxseed? As always, thank you for joining us on Optimal You.